Join Trinity United Church of Christ for our 40 Days to Health Bible Study with Pastor Moss and Dr. Terry Mason, February 1st, 8th, and 15th at 7 p.m. in our sanctuary. Support our youth with Ebony Expressions, February 26th at 2:30 p.m. in our sanctuary. Join Trinity United Church of Christ as we celebrate Black History Month every Sunday with the Ma'afa Experience, as we memorialize and honor the more than 100 million ancestors lost in the nightmare known as the West African slave trade.
Okay, now we see here how we remain healthy. Work equals exercise. Remember the ancient time period, meaning that we need to exercise our body. Rest equals life, meaning that rest improves our health. Water equals life. Drinking more water improves your health. And guess what? Food, but not any kind of food. All right, we're going to help you out. Got a little experiment here. Let me pull this up here. All right. Hope this doesn't fall over, or we're going to be in big trouble here. All right. All right, I got some flour. I got some sugar. Got some flour and some sugar right here. Somebody want to hold this flour up for us? Want to demonstrate the flour? Just be a flour model. Just there you go. Just there you go. Show us the flour. You know, the flour. That's beautiful flour. It's gorgeous flour. Now, one of the things that many of you probably know, or some may not know, is it's fascinating. This flour is what color? That naturally, flour is, when it comes out, it's not white. In order to get the flour like this, it has to be what? It has to be right. It has to be bleached. Even the flour has to be white. That's a whole nother, that's a book but that's a whole nother story. The flour got to be white. But anyway, the flour has to be bleached because bleached flour, corporations have found out, is more appealing to the eye. Because if you saw flour in its natural state, it would have this yellowish tint to it. And you would say, oh, it must be dirty because it's colored. I ain't making this stuff up. I'm just taking this from what the corporate research says. So it said if we then make it white, if we bleach it, then more people will buy it. Because we want you. But the problem is when we bleach the flour, we then take out everything that God intended in the flour in the first place. So all of the vitamins and the nutrients are then removed from the flour. So then they have to bleach it. And they bleach it. Let me get the name of this chemical. Chlorine, in a chlorine gas bath, chlorine oxide is used to make this white. Now, y'all know what chlorine does, right? So in order to get it white, I got to put it in a chlorine bath. Same stuff you putting in the pool, okay, with a little extra stuff in there. Then you have to put it into another particular bath to age it. Because white flour will turn white if it ages naturally. Because usually when things die, they become white, over time. Certain products do. And so in order to age it, they then have to put it in this more chemical bath, which makes it seem like it's aged flour, which is white. And then in order to that, then they have to inject it with more chemicals because it lost all the other stuff in the first place, just so that you will buy some wonderful white flour and think it's so wonderfully clean and better than the other flour. And in reality, it does not have the nutrients that natural flour would. That when flour is talked about, or wheat is talked about, and thank you very much, by the way, it's talked about, you don't have to hold it all night. He's like, we don't have to put this thing down. That the nutrients are then taken out of that. Let me give you this information right here. Nearly everyone knows that white flour is not healthy for you. But most people don't know that when white flour is bleached, it can actually be far worse. It's generally understood that refining food destroys nutrients. With most nutrients, part of the grain is removed. White flour essentially becomes a form of sugar. When it goes through this process, you're essentially turning flour into sugar. Now, we think of flour as being healthy, but if you put some flour and some other type of food, and ask a rat, let's put a rat over there, the rat will bypass the flour and go to whatever's next to it. It doesn't want to be bothered with eating the flour. And rats will eat anything, but they will distinguish bleached flour. They're like, I don't like that. It ain't natural. You know, I'm a rat. I at least want natural, garbage. And a rat will avoid flour. That's interesting that a rat will avoid, that the rat even knows this ain't the kind of garbage I'm supposed to be eating. But anyway, so half of the beneficial unsaturated fatty acids are removed. Virtually all of the vitamin E is removed from the flour when it's bleached. 50% of the calcium is then removed. 70% of the phosphorus, 80% of the iron, 88% of the magnesium, 50 to 80% of the B vitamins are all removed because of the chlorine bath, so that the product looks a certain way. It's not necessarily better for you. It's just more pleasing to the eye.